Hello and welcome to Supercoach Swordplay. It's me, Spillsy, here for my team reveal for Supercoach 2025. Man, I can't wait for this. Gee, the whole preseason, it's finally here. Round one is very, it's just going to be so good. I'm absolutely spewing that I missed the podcast last week that the lads did. They did such a good job. And just to rub salt on the wounds, I actually did my own reaction to the community series. It went for like an hour and 20 minutes, but the file didn't save, so I didn't get to release it. So the whole thing deleted, which was just a massive stitch up. So just wanted to be a part of it. Probably won't happen again. I can't wait to jump back on the podcast. So yeah, it all starts here. It all starts with the team reveal, and this is going to be really exciting. I haven't actually made too many changes, particularly within the last week. Now I'm super happy with my structure. I think it's a really nice balance of each line, and I think I've utilized which rookies to field and which ones to pick, and I haven't really let it dictate my structure too much. So yeah, without further ado, we'll get stuck straight into it. But before we do, I need to give the channel a massive plug. So yeah, we've got a massive announcement coming out soon, and DR will definitely reveal that. It's very exciting. We've just dropped our 2025 season guide, and I just want to give a massive shout out and a huge thank you to everyone involved. You know who you are. Everyone put in. It's a 400-page Supercoach dictionary. It's got everything you need. It's unbelievable. You'll never find anything like it. So yeah, they're only $20. But you can get them for 15 if you chuck in a code. But yeah, no, it's exciting. We've got that. We've also got a new merch drop. So the rugby tops will come out. So yeah, just it's going to be a massive year. We can't wait to get stuck into it. But yeah. It all starts here, and I can't wait for this. So, yeah, we may as well get stuck straight into it. Now, I'm pretty set with how I'm running things at the moment, particularly in defense. I did have 5 premiums originally, but I think down the ground there's been further improvements. So I've had to sort of sacrifice a couple of picks that I'm really keen on. Now, as I'm recording this is before, well, obviously we're premiering tonight at 7 o'clock. But as we're recording this, it is currently 1:45, so we'll not get a reaction on the GWS Collingwood game. So the only thing that could really change today is, well, a bit of a spoiler alert. No Dacos, no Perryman. So if Perryman really explodes and looks like a genuine pick for 417K, I might have to reconsider a couple of things. And if Dacos pops on a Bedford tag and drops a 130, that's where you go, okay, he has a buy. He's obviously got the early tags, but it's Dacos and he's a champion. So they're the two that I'm sort of anti-potting at this stage. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, we'll start straight off the bat with Harry Sheezel. 170 in the community series. Take it with a grain of salt. I mean, it is practice matches, but he's a gun. He's all class. He's been locked away at D1 since the first team picker. He's one of very few that have not left my side. So you can't go wrong with Shees. He's going to be such a great selection, and yeah, should get DPP as well. So that'll be handy. But I think he's everyone's D1. I don't really need to go into it, do I? I mean, he's almost as big as a lock as you can imagine. So I think he's top 5 in terms of locks. So yeah, the Shees will not go anywhere from my side. Now, D2, Adam Shearer. What's going on? Must be recent searches. Anyway, D2 that's one that has changed multiple times over the preseason. I've had like the same sort of locked in most of the preseason, but that D2 slot has changed so much. Like, do I run with just a Jordan Clark, or do we go a Lockie Whitfield with an early buy? It's been up in the air, but last week I got all the confirmation that I needed, and even more so because this bloke doesn't have an early buy anymore. It is Dane Zorko, 36 years of age, riddled with soft tissue injuries in the past, has the filthiest role in Supercoach, and absolutely stat padded last week, and he looks unreal. Now, before I discuss why I'm picking him, I think I need to go into a little bit of like food for thought, a bit of method towards the madness of this structure. So a lot of players I'm picking this year are super injury prone and have had some experiences with soft tissue injuries. I'm not really afraid of that because we've got the trades to accommodate if anything goes wrong. But what it's going to do for me is knowing that I've got a lot of injury risk in my side, I think that'll make me a lot more conservative with my trades. We're not going to be too reactionary. If a player drops a stinker in round 1 and round 2, we're going to really think twice before we sideways trade. Learning from your mistakes from last year. Now, people will be getting sick of me talking about it, but last year we obviously sideways trading Nick Martin, Brodie Grundy, Hayden Young. We're not going to be doing that this year. And it doesn't matter if you've got 36 trades or whatever we got this year. I can't really keep up, to be honest. More trades than we need. It's becoming more and more like fantasy. So people getting really aggressive. Even so, I still ran Dan Houston and Harry Sheasel donuts last year, round 24. So I still fell short with trades. So a bit of a theory, starting players that have soft tissue injury history. I'm not, like in previous seasons, massively hot on that. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think it's going to make me a lot more conservative and definitely going to think twice because I might need those trades further down the line. Touch wood that they stay on the park all year, but it will definitely make me think twice. So I don't know. That might sound a bit strange to many, but I think it's going to keep me a little bit more consistent with the side, and it should be fine. So Dane Zorko has Richmond and West Coast, Geelong, such a crazy run, and Brisbane. They just become so relevant now, don't they? It was such a shame that they had an early bye, not to be anymore because of obviously the cyclone. So now we can pick him, and it's a piss take how easy it is. So I think Zorko makes a perfect VC as well. So we're going to utilize that. I think he's a great pick. I think he's 12% owned. I want to say 12%, maybe even less. What is he? 12%. So I thought it'd be a little bit more than that. When I picked him, it was off the back of DR. I mean, it's always DR, but he'd sort of convinced me that he's just such a great pick. And even, I will be honest, even before the bye was lifted and Brisbane were not going to play in round 3, he was still in my team. It was a toss-up between he and Whitfield, but Whitfield obviously has a bye. So, I think the upside for Zorko with his run is just too good to pass up. And we ride it out until it goes bad. And when it goes bad, we assume he's above 600K and we just flip him to whoever we want. But I'm just going to ride it out until it crashes and burns, but hopefully it doesn't. So, I'm bloody rapt with Dane Zorko. I think he's a fantastic selection. And you genuinely cannot go wrong. Now, the next pick in my side, sort by ownership, scrolling down, we have, Matty Roberts. So I'm a bit flat with this. So Roberts was another one that was such a pod when I first jumped on him. I mean, 5% of sides he was at one point, which is just unreal. I cannot believe that. Actually, I think I've missed a guy as well. I'll grab him in. It's okay. I'll save the team at the end. I was just thinking, like, who am I missing? I'm missing someone before Roberts, Clark, who obviously hasn't left my side. I may as well quickly touch on Roberts, though. So Matty Roberts, he has the quarterback role, and we know all about it. I'm a bit flat that he didn't even look that good. Only took one kick out for the night on Friday against the Hawks, 124, a great output. But now he's not a pod. Now he's someone that was almost, I don't want to say a must-have, but at that price, I mean, his whole month last year to end off the season was just crazy. He averaged over 130 in the last month, and then he's backed it up in the 2 practice matches. I don't think he's gone below 115 for 8 hitouts. So 434K, early buy, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm locking him in. I think he's a great selection, and I'm spewing because in the wet, even without kickouts, he still drops a 124. The efficiency wasn't even that high. I think it was high 70s when, Roberts usually, we know how lethal that left peg is at times. So, I'm bloody wrapped with him. I think he's going to be a really, really good pick. And then, I miss Jordan Clark. He's easy to miss because he's just been locked in there at that spot. It should be D. should be bloody D3. But Clark, he's so liable. He gets so many like switch kicks and like whether they take kickouts or not, whether he takes kickouts or not, they always just look for him anyway. He's just a great accumulator, and I think he presents a little bit of value. Like when you're looking at picking someone that you think could be a top 6 defender at 563k in my power rankings in the Swordplay guide, I actually have him at D6. So it might even be D5, maybe D6. I can't remember now, but he's definitely in the top 6. So I'm really bullish on him. But I like this structure, and I think if I could get Perryman in, maybe we'll see what happens. But it definitely goes against my structure. So for now, we're just going to leave it at that. They're the sort of premiums I'm running with. I think Roberts can become a keeper. I really do. What's to say he doesn't just like shit the bed? I think he'll be fine. Like 434k, you're picking him as a keeper. Worst case, we buy flip him. But yeah, I'm happy with these 4. Jaden Short's been in the mix though. Bit unproven, hasn't done it for a full year. I want to see a little bit more. Obviously, very injury prone. I know he's going to see a lot of it, but you can't. Yeah, I'd love if there was a world where I could have like Short and Perryman, all 6 of them in the same team. I would, but yeah, you just can't. So that's that. The next one is Jackson Pryor. So he's a pod. As a Dons man, I could have egg in my face, but I could safely say that he's best 22. Now, he does have that Jake Kelly role. What does that look like in a few months' time? I'm not sure, but I think he'll play early and accumulate and be a really good pick. I rate him. I think he's a really nice kick of the footy. And he's got pretty good job security. He'll probably start on the bench, but yeah, he'll come on. So I'm not worried about Pryor at all. And if he doesn't get picked, there is Cleary as well from the Dogs, who, what did he have? I think 17 touches against Hawthorn, but it was like 80-something% efficiency, 90% by foot. So he never misses a target. So there's some really good options. All of a sudden, the back line looks like the rookies are coming. It's not all doom and gloom. There are rookies coming. So I don't think you can have people are doing it, and I can see why you're having 5 premium defenders, but I think you bleed in other areas down the ground. So yeah, you really want to utilize what you've got. And yeah, I reckon it's a nice little balance. And we can always sideways trade if any of these picks sort of bomb. I think we can get out. And my D6 is sitting right there in front of me. Zach Reid. All of a sudden, I think he's a safe on-field option if he can stay on the park. And yes, it's a big if, but a great kick of the footy, can intercept. He's got the best job security of any defender in Supercoach in terms of rookies. So we're going to run with him. It's a bit risky. It's a little bit light on, but yeah, it does really help my structure out. So yeah, and there'll be rookies coming. Like we'll get more that pop up like as the season goes, and I'm sure we can do a correctional trade. Like there's Bo Allen, who I'm not picking. He's not really, his junior numbers aren't too high. I wasn't really pleased with what I saw in the practice matches. So I think these rookies are fine. A bit of Essendon bias, I know, but yeah, I wouldn't say we're rebuilding, but we're really trying to play a bit of youth. And yeah, I reckon the next few years will be good. But yeah, we're going to develop these youngsters and give them a bit more opportunity. So yeah, Zach Reid, he's unbelievable. He'll be fine. Now the next one, wasn't too impressed on Friday night, but I think he'll be fine. Now I did watch George's reaction to the Hawthorn Sydney game, and yeah, does Ben Patton make way in the side? I don't know, but what I like about him is defender forward DPP. Now I'm not picking a loophole. I don't think any of us are, to be honest, but yeah, I want to pick Ben Patton because you got another spoiler alert. I do have Connor Stone in the forward line now, who should get defense forward DPP. So flipping them around could be really handy. If they both work out to be good rookies, that's all of a sudden a nice little move. But if Patton doesn't, or he becomes a nice loophole. But I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. A bit of an elevated price when you got rookies that are like 113k and whatnot, 123k. But I think he plays. He looks good. He's got a good kick. Still scored 67. So it wasn't all bad. we'll see what happens with this. I think he's fine. I'm happy to field him over a bye week. I don't think he could do a hell of a lot worse than Benny Patton. So yeah, he all of a sudden is relevant, and yeah, 20% own. That's about where you'd say it. In it. I mean, he's not a must-have, but I just think he's a great option, and we'll get some more rookies popping out on. Mate's messaging me. Know what's going on there? But yeah, I'm really hot on Ben Patton. I think he'd be a good pick until he might get dropped. I don't know. Touch wood, he doesn't. But yeah, you got to think who makes way. I don't know. I really don't know. But it is what it is. I'm happy with Patton there. And the last one, to absolutely no one's surprise, is James Leake. Now, he looks good. I was a bit unsure of him a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, really played well against Carlton, and yeah, had a couple of clearances and a few tackles. And he's debuting. Why can't I talk? Oh my God. But yeah, he's playing today. So we'll get another look at him against Collingwood. And I really hope he plays well, because if he doesn't, yeah, all of a sudden it's panic stations down there. Do I drop something else for Perryman to eliminate another rookie on field? We'll see what happens with Leake. But I reckon he's honestly a fine selection. He's highly owned, and you should have pretty good job security, and he's got the buy, so you can have him as a bit of a loophole in round 2. So I do like that as well. So yeah, we've got a few buy players that can be handy loopholes. So yeah, not a big fan of the loophole, as I discussed. So that's that. That's the defense. Now, really happy with it. Like I said, going 4 premiums, and then yeah, a few rookies that I think will play. And yeah, there obviously is Cleary. We might get Whitlock as well. There'll be a few more. A few always pop up, so we'll see what happens. I just really hope that Reed can stay on the park, because yeah, a bit of PTSD from last year really burnt us. So yeah, that was unfortunate. So I'm really backing him out. I think he'll be fine. Now the midfield, this is where all the magic happens. So yeah, it's been a tough one. It has been a tough one. These two were locks in my side all preseason. Yeah, Bonds. What is it? His ankle. Butters had knee surgery. It's absolute shambles. And look, have you ever seen the ownership? I mean, it should be lower, but these are the 2 most relevant, high-scoring midfielders, and I would have comfortably ran them at M1 and M2. But I think it's open opportunity for other selections. And with the buys being lifted, I can't see how I don't pick one Lachie Neale. Only 23% owned. Now, he is going to feast on this early run. I mean, when he's got Richmond and West Coast, obviously the same as Zorko, I think those 2 are just viable VC captaincy options. It's a matter of which one do you roll with. But yeah, Neale looks really good. I'm absolutely happy with him. I don't think he gets kicked out of the midfield. A lot of speculation about whether some younger Brisbane mids take out, pinch in the mid, and Neale gives them opportunity, but he can't play anywhere else. He looks fit. He looks ready to go. Yeah, age is just a number until it does affect him. But you think by the time it does, he's still floating around that low 600 Ks, and you just ride it out until, it fails. But nah, Chalky Neale, he's a lock. I think he's a lock. I can't believe he's only 23% owned. He's someone that I've just... last week or so, I've toyed with not having him. I reckon he's going to be way too damaging early, and people are going to be panic trading him in after round 1 and round 2, because I reckon he's just going to explode. So, yeah, he's a great selection. You can't go wrong with him. We'll see what happens. There's other picks as well, like Sarong's a great one at M1. Will he get tagged? There's Dacos 2. That could change. I just don't know. How is he 65% owned? I mean, talk me through it. She's got... I'm getting distracted here. I want to check out Collins' fixture. I mean, I haven't had a great look at it. I know he's got Toby Bedford today, in which we discussed. He's also got the round 4 bye, but I'm not sure. So yeah, obviously he's got Bedford today. Next week, Port Adelaide. So he should feast on them, you'd think. You saw what he did last year at the MCG. But based off that, do they try and lock him down just on how good he was last year? I'm not quite sure. He's got the Dogs mid. He's going to smash them. the Bulldogs, they don't really look that good this year, do they? They've run a lot of injuries, particularly in the midfield, so that's a danger game. And then, obviously, he's got the bye, and then Carlton. So, look, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. But today will really, I suppose, dictate whether or not he's a lock or not. I don't know. What's the threshold? What would he have to go for me to go? He's got to come in. I think if Dacos can drop a 120 this afternoon, and Bedford's genuinely wearing him like a glove, and he's just worked his way through the tag, that'll be where I go, okay, I've got to make way. I've got to bring him in. So I really hope that he, for my own sake, that he just doesn't go well at all. And all of a sudden has an extremely high break even, and we can get him in a few weeks. But it's a tough antipod, but I think it's the right thing to do. I think Roscoe might be running Dacos. I'm not sure about Janath. I don't think DR is. The boys will have their team reveal tomorrow, and then the next few days. So we'll find out then. But he's not in my team, Dacos. And to be honest, he hasn't been all preseason. Haven't even looked at him. I'm aware of the early buy and the early tag. So, yeah, I just see a lot better options that present that, don't have the buy. And look, compare Neil to Dacos, like having Richmond, West Coast, Geelong, and then no buy. I mean, it's a pretty obvious one for me. But, yeah, it could well and truly change. We'll see what happens. But this M2 spot is one where it has chopped and changed. Now, Rosie has been in my side for the last week or so. I think he's unreal. Obviously, had a bit of a complaint with his foot. I don't think it's serious at all, and that's not shying me away from selecting him. I really do think Rosie is going to be a great pick, and it presents a lot of value. I watched Insider's team reveal. It was Ben's team reveal, and he made a really good point. So with Rosie, as a long-term keeper, is he a top 8 midfielder? I don't think he is. I think he's definitely like maybe top 6 at least for the first month without Butters in the side, and he has Essendon early, and he's might have Richmond as well. So look, a couple of sides that he scores really well against. So yeah, for the first month, I think he's going to make you pay. But then when Butters comes back, he looks great. Like the captain, he's unbelievable. I couldn't believe everyone's talking about how good he was against St Kilda. Like he had 39 disposals, but what I thought got overlooked was it was over 90% efficiency, and having that much of the pill is that's you can't be doing that. That's obscene. So yeah, Rosie's a lock in a lot of sides, but I'm trying to look at the big picture here. Is he a top 8 midfielder? And I go to my power rankings in the guide that again I'll allude to because it's backing my gut, and a lot of it's gut feel. And my gut feel is Rosie is not a top 8 mid. But someone I reckon is a top 8 mid, presents a little bit of value, and I just scraped him in. He's actually my M8 in the grand scheme of things. I reckon at the end of the season, he's going to be M8 on total points. Doesn't have an early buy, and he's a bit of a pod. And that's one Andy B. Andy Brayshaw. So it has been Sarong. It has been Rosie for a while, and to be honest, it's even been Petrarca. I think Petrarca's a really good pick, but it's just, do they throw him forward? He looked great against Freo, but I reckon Brayshaw, I mean, he's not going to get tagged. He looks unbelievably fit. He's coming into the absolute prime of his career. What is he, 27 years old, I think. And I think in terms of midfielders, that's where it's at. When you're 27-year-old mids, they just dominate. So I reckon he's the man. Like 591k, a little bit of value. I reckon he is a 620k man. That's sort of where I have him floating around. The first half of the year was really bad for him last year, carrying a toe injury that did slow him down. And he returned post-bye, and his average was off the chart. So it's just really strong, and I think he's getting overlooked. I've been really trying to fit him in my side. But the reason I've gone Rosie up to him is because, Sheldrick's gone down, and I've banked a little bit of money, so which has sort of got me to Brayshaw. So I think that's fine. I'm happy with that. This is two midfielders I reckon a clear top 8, and particularly Brayshaw a little bit of value. And I think Neil's a great early captaincy option. So that's the logic for that. That's what I'm running with. And then, yeah, a little bit of a drop down, but how can you not have Piggy Oliver in your side? 61%. So here's the next one. He looked too good last Sunday. 3 goals. We're not going to get that every week, but the hunger is there. Is there a bloke in the comp with a bigger chip on his shoulder than Clary? And he's a proven top 2 mid, and he's done it for multiple years in a row. Now, what is the ceiling for Oliver? Is he actually top 8? I think I was the only one in the guide that didn't have him top 8, because I just see it for myself. But if I could go back and make a couple of editorials to the guide, I think I'd squeeze him in. Like, he's a full preseason, has shredded a little bit of weight, as much as you can for an inside mid. I mean, he looks unbelievable. So Oliver's a lock. Hasn't left. He's like Sheasel. They haven't left my side since the team picker first opened. So yeah, that's that. We're bloody stoked with him. And then M4 is going to be Adam Chera. How is he 11% owned? How? I don't get it. Would he play 60-odd time on ground? Belted out a 107 or something like that. Kicked a massive goal from the middle of the ground. He looks so fit. I even have Colton fans at work going like, yeah, I just can't do it with his injuries. He's done it before. I reckon he's 15 to 20 points underpriced. He's priced around like 85 maybe. I think he can do 110 if he stays fit. Now, obviously, they've lost Jagger, massive loss, but more CBAs. There's nowhere else he's going to play. If he can stay on the park, I think he's a keeper. But he's one where you just want to see how he goes. Presents so much value. I'd much rather pick someone like that at 447K than lock in a top 8 that I think is going to be there. But then, yeah, you got to target value. That's Supercoach. You really have to find the value where it presents itself. And yeah, until it goes bad, I'm running with it. I'm going to keep the trades up my pocket. And when I've got Zorko and Cherry on my side, I'm going to think twice before I go, yeah, I'm going to pull the trigger, because I might need it for a rainy day if any of those two go down. So Cherry's in. He's in for me. He will not go anywhere. There's no doubt about that. So running it a little bit light in the midfield, because the next player here is Nathan O'Driscoll, who, again, pretty low ownership, I think. He looked extremely good in the Indigenous All-Stars game. He looked like someone that hadn't been best 22 for a couple of years and just really wants to assert his dominance and be a cog in that best 22. Will play wing predominantly, pinch it in the midfield, big body, so can win a lot of hard ball. How explosive is he? That goal he kicks, just unreal. Got a big tank on him, and I think he's going to play a lot of games and make some good money for us. So, yeah, Noddy is a lock for me. Ever since that game, he has not gone anywhere. Sardis, he's a lock. Oh, he's got the parish role. So I'm like, yeah, I can't see a world where he does not start in my team. I don't like running 4 rookies on field, particularly in the middle, but I think that's where the good rookies are. So we're going to utilize that where it stands. So Sardis is in, and then I think everyone's going to be running Levi Ashcroft. Does he get subbed? I don't really know, but I think the cover's going to be good. He'll have a roll-off half forward, pinch it in the midfield. So, yeah, he did have surgery, but, mate, he looks fit. I think he's ready to go. He's a ready-made midfielder, and it's a shame in a way that he is at the Lions, because they've got so many mouths to feed in the middle. But, yeah, he's someone that I think is going to get a stack of opportunity with his brother, and I reckon he's going to be a great rook for us. What he averages, I don't really know. I think he can do possibly 75, maybe even 80. Who knows? It just depends what his CBAs look like, and he's someone that can hit the scoreboard and get dangerous down forward too. A ready-made midfielder, a big body. I don't even need to really go into it because, I mean, yeah, who doesn't have Ashcroft at this point? I think he's a fine selection. Now, another one who's been in and out of my team, but before I saw the first hit out against the Bombers, he has not left my team. Mitch Nevitt. So he's come on field for Sheldrick, because I really did want to field Nevitt, but I thought Sheldrick would be a much better option. He's gone, not meant to be. So, it is what it is. But I think Nevitt, he's going to get a lot of opportunity, a lot of CBAs. I worry having Chris Scott as coach. Where does that yeah, how does that affect him? I'm not really sure, but yeah, Nevitt, he looks good. I'm happy with him there, mate, and see what he can do. I think he's a fine field option. They're playing to be a youth Geelong. The old boys are. I think Dangerfield will play a lot more forward and opens the door for a Mitch Nevitt type. So we'll see what happens. They're not going to have Bruin for a while, I think. I don't even know what the go is with that. I don't really want to get into it. But does he play round one? I'm not really sure. But I think Nevitt's got a world of opportunity here, and I think he's a fine pick. Now, midfield. Speaking of locks, I can't wait to watch this guy play. Oh, 70%. That's way higher than I thought. It should be. He was good. He was so good against Geelong. Could have had 5 goals. He's got Riz. He's got game, genuine X factor, aura. You name it. Isaac Kako is the man. And wouldn't you want to be him? I mean, just kicking snags for fun. I think he's up there with Zach Reid. I hate to be biased as an Essendon supporter. I'm not really that biased, but at this point I am, because I think those two have the best job security. We need a small forward to kick snags, and I think he's ahead of Menzies already. I think him and Gresham are the main men there in the forward pocket. You're going to get a world of opportunity. I don't want to field him unless there is a buy and he comes on. If it doesn't go well, the flex can sort of accommodate for that. But he's going to have massive spike games. And what I like about this pick as well is the Bombers have a lot of primetime games. If you chuck the emergency on him, see how he goes, and you've got a buy player loophole going on, like GWS in round 2. For instance, Collingwood Sydney round 4, you get what I mean? You can just chuck Kako on, for the emergency, and Rame as a loophole, because I think he's either going 90 plus or 40 under. That's the danger of this pick. But over the long run, I think he makes a stack of money, and I reckon he can make over 150k. So Kako's there for now. A little bit light in the midfield bench, so we've got Kako there. So he's the only elevated rookie we got. I do have Hewitt here, and I'm not a massive fan of it because we didn't get a look at him. Still very highly owned. I hope he plays round 1. If he does, he's definitely going to play midfield. He's just there for now. We'll see what happens. There is Max Hall as well, who could play Boxall. I mean, there's a stack of players, and then we're going to finish off with not Ben. There's 2 of them. What's the other one? Lucas, obviously. So Lucas Camporelli looks to have a spot there on the wing. So I think he's got good job security too. Without Jagger, opens up a slot in the midfield. I know different type of midfield, but yeah, Camporelli, he'll be fine on the wing there. I don't know what he can average, but yeah, just make a bit of coin on the bench. A bit cheaper for a rookie too, with good job security. So I think he will be fine. It looks like they're keen to persist with him. So that's the midfield. So running hopefully 4 premiums. I think worst case, Oliver and Chera are buy flips, but particularly Chera in this case, if he can stay on the park, I mean, there's no reason he can't be a keeper. He's done 108 in the past. He might have even gone higher. I'm not sure. But the year Carlton were in the prelim, he was absolutely on fire. So yeah, we're going 4 and 4, and then 4 rookies, 3 rookies here. I think it will work itself out. So yeah, that's the defense and the midfield. Now the ruck's been really hard for me. This one's been easy. Cherry R1. He's going to give English a bath next week. It's the easiest straight up captain. It doesn't get any easier. So that's that. Now R2, it's obviously not Gawn because I would have had him obviously before Cherry at the price. So Gawn's been in and out, but I think there's way too much value. Now, I'll be honest, I have been running Nankervis for a long time. I love him as a pod. Yeah, he just looks unbelievable. And yeah, the fact that he's a number 1 ruck, that really appeals to me. We're going to go TDK. I folded on that because I think TDK has too high of a ceiling to fade because he's 47%. If he goes bang in the first month without Pitnett or whenever Pitnett comes back, I don't know when the exact time frame is for that. There could be a lot of points missing out. So I think you just ride it until you assess the situation. Do they run Pitnett and TDK in the same team? If they do, and TDK doesn't look that great, by then you think he's pushing 650k. I mean, if anyone can get to 700k, particularly in the rucks, it's TDK. So I just can't anti-pod this. I really can't. He's way too good. And I'm going to go with the crowd, set and forget. It is what it is, so it should be fine. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. You save 60K as well on Nank, and yeah, you can always get, it could be Meek or Nank that come into the side. Gorn, if he drops a little bit in price, we'll see what happens. But I do want to see what he looks like when they got Pitnet back in the team. But yeah, we've got the trades to accommodate that. So we cross that bridge when we get to it. I think there's way too many early points to, too good to pass up for me. And then Harry Boyd, I don't know if we get him yet. We'll see, but there's no one else. There, like, what else are you doing here? Worst case, this becomes a loophole, but I think you'll get plenty of opportunity. So what are you going for? We're at 37 minutes now as I'm recording, which is fine. No hurry. I want to go into depth with all these players, and yeah, I'm so confident with this team. Usually at this point, there's a little bit of last-minute lockout panic. But no, I'm super calm. I've barely touched this team for a week. It's been the same structure. It's just been like not, Neil and Brayshaw and then like Petrarca and Rosie. That's the only thing that's really sort of changed. And then I've obviously dropped Nank for TDK, which is, I think, pretty understandable at this point. So, yeah, should be good. Now, forward line. I think this is the easiest line to pick this year. You just lock them in, don't you? The high ownership guys for a reason. Look at this. We'll get to him in a moment. But Jason Horne-Francis, he is a lock. No butters, more CBAs. Not that was a real worry before. Just got forward DPP. A little bit of value. He's had a great preseason. I was really impressed with what I saw in the Indigenous All-Stars match. He just did what he had to do. Kicked a couple big goals. And, yeah, he's extremely explosive. Does remind me of a young Paddy Dangerfield. So I think he's going to be a great pick for us. And is he F1? I don't know. Maybe McRae. I don't know. Can McRae get back to his best? We'll touch on him in a moment, obviously. But, yeah, we love the horny man. He is locked and loaded. Isn't going anywhere. Now, the next one in this side, obviously I've been run a little bit light for a while. But last team update, which seems like ages ago now, I was running with him. I had him out of my team for a long time. Only just got back on the train maybe a week ago. And ever since, I just haven't looked back. I can't not pick him. So Isaac Rankin, 26%. I think that's a massive, 26% sounds like a lot, but as a forward premium, I think he's a massive pod. Got St. Kilda round one. What's he got? I think for 3 or 4 home games in 6 weeks. I think 4 home games in 6 weeks. So, yeah, gather round will accommodate for that. Playing midfield as well. Dangerous forward. If he can stay on the park. So, it's that risk, isn't it? Rankin, Chera, Zorko in the same team. You would not read about it. Even Decone as well. Sardis, Reed. It's risky but I'll just keep my trades close to my chest and nothing too aggressive because we might need them. I mean, one of these players is bound to go down at some point. You want to have that sort of insurance, and you got to have the trades at the back pocket. So I think that'll encourage me to be more conservative. And if they can all stay on the park, huge win for me. But yeah, Rankin is too good to pass up. I listen to a lot of SEN, Fireball as well with Kane and Kingy. When do they stop talking about Rankin? All I hear is this bloke's just dominating preseason. Scored 90 off pretty minimal time on ground, and he just cruised through, didn't he, Rank? He didn't set the world on fire, but just did what he had to do. I reckon he's a smoky for Adelaide's BNF, and he's one of my favourite players. So I think he's going to be a really fun own. I missed out on him last year. I know Janath had him for a long period there before he got injured, but before that happened, I mean, he was dominating, just looked absolutely crazy. So, yeah, Rankin, I'm so happy with him in the side, and yeah, it really balances out the structure. Now, what would happen is, do I go a Rankin down to a rookie and go a little bit thin in the forward line? Because we do have some good forward rookies, and then potentially go a Pryor up to Perryman. That's something that could change. It depends how well Perryman goes today, but it would take a lot of doing for me to want to do that. So, yeah, Rankin someone he's not a lock because he could change. Like, I want to lock him in anyway, but just depending on what happens today, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't want Rankin to go anywhere from my side. Jackson Macrae, he did too much, way too much against Port Adelaide. Looked amazing. Gee, I bet the Bulldogs wish he was still playing now. What are they doing, the Dogs? What a shambles. I think Essendon have always been a shambles. I'm just as critical on them as Matthew Lloyd is. And, yeah, it's been frustrating, but I think you'd be more frustrated as a Bulldog supporter. I mean, yeah, Treloar's injured. Richards is a test for round one. They've lost the Bont. Sanders will get a lot of opportunity, but I bet they wish they had Jack Macrae there. Oh, it's crazy. I reckon he's going to make him pay. You could almost VC him against the Dogs. I don't think the Saints look good either, but I do think Macrae's going to have the last laugh against them. And, yeah, Macrae is going to be a great pick. He's been a lock since the team picker first opened. So, yeah, he is fine. And then we're running Daniel, so a little bit light on, which is fine. I don't think it really matters too much. He's going to get plenty of opportunity playing that half-back role. He looks good. I'm just trying to remember who else I had here. I can't really remember. I think Davidson is in as well. I think he's a great rookie to have. He looked unbelievable. Playing that wing role, smashed it in the first half, went extremely quiet in the second. And I know that from being a winger myself previously. You do have games where you can rack it up and then you go missing. So, but I'm still confident to have him on field. And we're going to have Powell Pepper as well. He's done it before. He's averaged like really good rookie points. I think he can do 70 plus minimum. Leadership group, full preseason, looks good. He is fine. We're going to have Stone as well. And there's another rookie. I can't remember who it is. Oh, yeah, I've absolutely overlooked him. Garcia. So Garcia looks good. I've been on him since George was and just watching to see how he goes, but didn't do a whole lot against Port Adelaide. But, yeah, their whole midfield got smoked. And I think he was far from their worst player. So I don't think he's a worry to get dropped at all. Should get plenty of opportunity. If he doesn't get up round one, we'll have to find 100K to get him to Sanders. I think that'll be the go. But I think the massive talking point here, perhaps the elephant in the room of this forward line, people might be wondering, where is Bailey Smith? He ain't in my team. I'm not too keen on Baz, even if he does play. I think he's not going to – I don't think he's going to make you pay. I think if you need to get him in a correction trade, you can. I don't think he's going to get as many CBAs as we thought. I think he'll play a little bit half forward, a little bit of wing. I'm just unsure. I need to see him first, but I think there's other options. There's better options. I mean, I'd much rather these four ahead of him, even Sanders ahead of him, just because of this depleted Doggies midfield. So a bit of food for thought. We'll see what happens. And then, yeah, we got Garcia's going to be playing inside mid without a doubt. And then Stone playing half back. He's playing today. We'll get a bit of a look on him. Powell Pepper and Davidson look like good on-field options. So, yeah, no, who knows? You can't have them all, but I'm happy potting Bailey Smith. I don't think he's going to hurt you not owning him. And that's that. What do we got in the bank? 309K to pick a flex. I think many can see where this is going. We're going to go Matty Flynn. He's number one ruck. I mean, there was some conjecture. Does Bailey Williams, is he the number one ruck? Well, I don't know. Flynn looked really good in a losing team. I don't think he lose it. They actually beat North Melbourne, but would he go? He popped a 90, and that was against Cherry. So you could do a lot worse than that. I think it's a luxury having three rucks on field. It's a great scoring avenue, particularly for an elevated priced rookie. We're going to save this team, and this is what we're going to be running with for 2025. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm super confident with this team. I think the balance of it is really good. It's utilizing the rookies where they're at. So we're obviously running plenty of rookies in the midfield, but I think we've got some really good mid rookies. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm pretty stoked with how things are at. So we're going to field probably Garcia over Davidson. It's Davidson versus Powell Pepper. I'm not sure. Don't think I'll be going Stone on field. We'll see. We'll make the emergencies. Kako probably. Not that this matters at all. I'm not going to be selecting a loophole. No way. But yeah, I'm this is it. This is where we're at for 2025. And yeah, as I alluded to at the start, I think the only thing that's going to change is, well, I might have to go Brayshaw up to Dacos if he looks too good. If it's like, oh my God, this guy is dominating and he's carved it up against Richmond. We've seen it against the worst team in the comp. Now, I want to see it against the best team in the comp. Not, I want to say GWS are the best team in the comp, but in terms of shutting down midfielders with Bedford, I think they're the hardest team to score against. So you got the easiest and the hardest for Dacos. So what do we get? Is he going to go 60? Is he going to go 160? Who knows? We'll see what happens. They might not even tag him. You think they would, but we'll see. So Brayshaw could become Dacos, and then Roberts might become Perryman. I doubt it. Or Pryor becomes Perryman, and then we go ranking down. I don't know yet. We'll see. I really hope I don't have to change this team around. But other than that, I don't think anything will change. Maybe a few rookies here and there. Like, we have to see what Leake does. Does Patton get named? Does Hewitt get named? Camberley should. But I think the rookies are good. I think we're fine. Yeah, very happy with how things are going. Now, VC and C. So this week, I'm going to chuck the VC, or next week, I should say, by the time this is up. We're going to VC Sheasel, and we're going to chuck the C on Cherry. No loophole. No loophole. Just throw away the key, locking in this cap. I think he's the safest captain, Cherry, against English. We've seen back-to-back 140s. Is it sustainable? Do they go after him? I don't know, but Cherry had 14 tackles against West Coast. Ridiculous. He's a bad man. I've seen a couple of sides anti-potting Cherry. I don't have the kahunas for that. Absolutely no way whatsoever. So we're going to go Cherry. I think he's fine. Could chuck the VC on TDK, but I don't want him to explode and then all of a sudden I've got to find a loophole. I don't want to start a loophole because what happened last year, injuries, carnage. Yeah, you always end up with a dead rookie. So that's one to be mindful of. Someone I do want on my bench is Finn O'Sullivan. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity from the wing half back. Proved he can score, elite job security, but it's a lot of cash to fork up for a rookie. So just can't fit him in at the moment. So if I went Brayshaw down to Rosie, I can go Hewitt to Finn O'Sullivan. Don't know yet. Don't really know if I want to run that. But I like Brayshaw. I think he's more likely to be a keeper. So, yeah, this is the side for 2025. Can you hear your thoughts? Is there anything that you think I need to change? Come after me. Obviously, no Dacos, no Bailey Smith. But I think you've got to anti-pot a couple. You can't just have the highly owned players. You've got to go and get the tide sometimes. You've got to get the advantage and the leg up on the comp. And I'm hoping Dacos doesn't go too well. I'm also hoping that Perryman doesn't go too well either because I don't want to have to crush the structure of my team to find a way to get him in. But yeah, Roberts doesn't look good early and it's a bit of a shambles, or Zorko gets injured. I think it's an easy, you go down to Perryman, bank some money, and it should be fine. So yeah, that's it for the side. I'm keen to see what the boys are running with. I think I've got a very similar side to DR. I did have a look at his team briefly. A similar structure. I think we're running a similar structure. I know he doesn't have Rankin, but yeah, this is what we're going to be running with. Stay tuned. So I'm pretty sure Roscoe's going tomorrow, and then Janath, and then DR, and then another day, and then round one. So it's all happening. So we'll be doing that. And then next weekend, this time next week, I'll be recording my first episode of Chit Chat with Spillsy. Now, if you have any ideas for it, let me know. So it's just going to be me solo, just doing a general discussion on not anything to do with Supercoach, just reacting to the round so far. And there's always going to be controversy. There's always going to be upsets. And yeah, we're going to have a hotline. So yeah, if you want to DM me some voice recordings, and I'll play them over my mic and just react to them, and might do a bit of a Q&A as well, and just take the piss a little bit. Be like a Saturday night, Sunday morning thing. So see how we go with that. So that'll be my plans, in terms of contributing to the channel. And then next Tuesday night, the real stuff begins. The first review of the round for the Supercoach Swordplay podcast. So, yep, the boys will be back in action. And we welcome Roscoe to the podcast. It's good to have him on board. So we've got 4 now, and I think that's a good number because there's going to be plenty of times where someone can't make the potty and you've still got a full crew. We can shuffle it around, and yeah, it's some really good intel. Ross, he knows what he's doing, the Supercoach side of things. So yeah, good mates with Janath. It's a nice balance, and I think we're going to do some good things with the podcast. So I can't wait for this season. And yeah, if you haven't got yourself a guide yet, make sure you do because you're missing out. It's elite content. If you're ever unsure on any player, we've got everything in there. We've got you covered. And yeah, the new merch will be up soon, but we'll cross that when we get to it. But I'll leave it at here. This is the side. Oh yeah, let me know what you reckon. I'm keen to hear everyone's thoughts. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at here. I'm stoked with how things are going, and yeah, I cannot wait for Supercoach to kick off. So yeah, good luck for the year, everyone. Yeah, it's gonna be unreal, and yeah, I'll leave it here. Look after yourselves, take it easy, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next video.